So, the engine's coming out. Get my hat on straight, pull yourself together, front end of the car needs to come off. Let's get started. Start at the top and work down. Ta-da! I'm hopeful that all this front end will come off in one piece once I've disconnected all the hoses, pipes, clips, aircon, everything. Hopefully it will all come off in one piece with these 4 bolts on this side on the front of the chassis rail and 4 bolts on the other side, and then we'll have the engine exposed. That's what I'm hoping. What have I done? Do you think I can get it back together? Tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a lot of pictures of this while it's like this point, and I can see where everything goes back together. So now we have the CAD out of the way, we can better see the condition of these bearings. We've had them all off and had a quick look at it. You can tell this is the middle one here where the heat treatment, it's jet black, the actual conrod and the crank compared to the left and the right hand side of it. So we'll just also have a better look at this bearing. We'll just take the cap off and we'll just push it away from the crank and have a look at that crank. Just hold on a second. Oh, in the teeth. See here the bearing has well and truly fused itself on. Interesting to see though that both the bearing caps seem to be there, so what was actually in the bottom of the sump? It's not quite clear, because this, I believe, if I can push that off, can't quite get it out the other side of the... Oh no, it has pretty mashed itself. Good and proper here. Let's see if we can get that out. So there's the first half. And the second half. Oh, I see, yeah. Yeah, it's pretty much not there. I'd say that. Yeah, I don't think that'll be recoverable. No, so that's... pretty much welded itself to the conrod. That is not going to come out. Okay, so what I've done now, now I've got the exhaust manifold off. I'll put the sump back on, and the reason I put the sump back on is just when I want to jack underneath here and lower the engine down. I'm not decided whether I'm going to try and get it out just on a jack or borrow an engine stand off a friend. We'll see how we get on. I'm going to try and strip as much accessories off the front as I can, because they're going to come off at some point, so I might as well take them off now just to simplify it a little bit. So I'm probably going to get the alternator off. This is the water pump for the turbo. I've took some pictures of these pipes so I know where they all are, and I'll see if I can get these off, and we'll take it from there. How many wires do you need to run an engine? Now this is based as a family show, but throughout this engine removal, I don't want to sound like a grumpy man, but the way Ford have designed this engine to go, they must have been a complete utter bunch of, because every electrical connector is different way of disconnecting it, so you have to learn on every single one, probably spend 15 minutes on each individual wire, and there's bloody millions of them. This here, on the throttle body, these Jubilee clips are in a nice position upright. All they needed was a screw fitting here and here so you could take this throttle body off. Oh no, they're right at the back that you can't get the screwdriver into behind to take out. What's happened is, when this engine was off on the floor in the Ford factory, it will be easy to get those screws in at the back. Some maintainability engineer should have realised that these Jubilee clips should have been there. What else can I moan about? The bloody loom, it has these plastic clips everywhere holding them on that you can't get to. I'm trying to get to a bolt down there at the moment, and I can't because of this loom's in the way. The starter motor has two different bolts in, of two different sizes. Who'd have thought that? They both have been the same size. Oh, it's just a frigging nightmare. I'm either old or it's just making me angry, because I work on that. It's easy. I can climb inside the engine. There's probably 3 wires, one for the oil pressure, one for the coil, and one for the temperature. This, there's a million wires. It's just ridiculous. Anyway, apart from that rant, it's going very well. And I'm nearly ready to get the engine out. So I'm quite pleased with that, other than probably 4 hours lost trying to undo electrical connections. But let's continue. So I'm about ready to get the engine out. I've got all the bolts bar one here at the front of the engine undone. I've got the engine mount on the other side to undo, and the theory is engine mount off, that bolt off, pull the engine about 1 inch that way to disengage the shaft in the clutch, and then pull the engine out. I'm fairly confident I've left enough wires on connected at the back of the engine that when I drop it I'll rip them all out and break the loom. No, actually, joking apart, I think there are a few things I'm going to have to reach over because of these incompetent nitwits at Ford, how they've installed the engine and not made it user friendly at all. But hey ho, let's move on. So let's see how it goes. What can possibly go wrong? Ultimately the engine will fall on the floor and we've got the engine out, so it's a win-win really. It's just how gracefully it will fall to the ground. Now what we're going to do is work out all the wires that are on the back. So, mechanically disconnected, yay. Electrically disconnected, probably not. How do they expect you to get this out? So it's times like this you just need to celebrate with an alcoholic beverage, pose as if I've caught the great white shark, contemplate life, forget about the fact I've got to rebuild it and put it back in. But for the moment, let's just bask in the glory. Okay, that's enough of that.